International Women's Day is celebrated this year tomorrow on the 8th of March. It has become renowned for both celebrating the achievements of women as well as lobbying for accelerated gender parity. This year's theme is Choose to Challenge, to discuss challenging the status quo, whether it be in matters of business or gender stereotypes or how to lead one's life as a woman. We're joined by Christelle Colman, Managing Director of Elite Risks Acceptances. Christelle, good afternoon to you and thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me on your show.
Now, first of all, what does International Women's Day mean to you, considering this year's tagline being "From Challenge Comes Change"?
I think it's a fantastic topic to choose for this year, particularly because we've just come out of COVID. And I think there's been a fundamental shift in how we view women in the workplace and at home. And maybe we can talk about that a little bit. But it's very important that we find the strength to tackle this topic of gender inequality in the home and in the workplace, and to have the courage to talk about it as we are doing today.
And we're going to get to that topic you just mentioned now, but before we get there, you made your mark at the young age of 25, specializing in a class of business that no insurer actually wanted to underwrite. How did you carve such an enviable career in a male-dominated industry, and what were some of the challenges that you actually faced on that journey?
Well, that opportunity was about 25 years ago, so things have changed dramatically since then. I think it's become a bit more acceptable and easier to talk about discrimination through a gender lens. But I got the opportunity because a man gave me the opportunity, and it's often the case when you talk to women who got a special break through that glass ceiling. And when I got that opportunity, I gave it my absolute all to make sure that company was launched successfully, and it is still around today. Worked very hard to make sure. I'm an absolute believer that we have to go by the results. So if you can prove that you can bring the results to the table, gender becomes a bit of a non-issue.
So actually, your results are what helped you cement your position in the industry.
Yes. Absolutely. It was all about the results. The discrimination came thick and fast. Being talked down to, being, very, very strange remarks made at times. I was very young at the time as well. So it wasn't just my gender, it was also my age that was held against me. And I just put my head down and decided I was going to get the best possible results, and that no one can say that because of my age and because of my gender, I didn't deserve to get that opportunity. So I just focused on the results to silence the critics.
Yes. Now, Christelle, you are a successful career woman. You are a wife and a mother of 4. Most women actually believe that they can't have both. They can either have a career or have a family, but not both. What advice can you give to women to, first of all, break through that corporate gender imbalance, but also while maintaining a healthy work-life balance?
I think it's a bit elusive. There's comments about healthy work-life balance, but that shouldn't stop us from trying. And I think it's the beauty sits in the trying. So it's very important that you do find a way of putting your work to one side when it's family time, sort of the compartments around the different aspects of your life, and that you do make time to focus on your health and well-being. Because if we're not strong physically and we're not strong mentally, we can't deal with the challenges that we face being in business, but also being mothers. I can handle almost anything that comes my way from a work perspective. But give me an oral that I didn't know about for my children that's due on a Monday morning, on a Sunday evening, and I fall apart. So it's really tough to bring all those pieces together, and we don't always get it right. I think that's where the challenge sits, and it's part of the problem that we have is a woman's job at work is the same as a male counterpart, but she normally has a second job, which is looking after the family and your loved ones. And the home. And, often there is the biggest gender disparity, because women are expected to do everything, to cook, to clean, to make sure that the kids are looked after for school, to cover the books, to do everything that is supposed to be done for a mom. And that's when the challenge really becomes evident, is trying to manage those two environments. And that's why I mentioned COVID, because I think COVID has opened up the eyes of many men to see how difficult it is to work from home. You will often hear men saying they want to go back to the office, they prefer to be there. Often women say they prefer to be at home during this past year. And I think it's because the sheer volume of work that is required to keep the home going while working, there's a newfound respect, I believe.
That actually means that it's important to have a supportive family structure.
Well, not everyone has a supportive family structure to fall back on. I really think it comes down to planning. If you don't have that family, a lot of people are blessed with having the structure, but if you don't have the structure, very important to have, to be very, very well organized. Plan your day, plan your activities, make sure that you get help where you need help. At the moment, I'm busy studying, I'm doing my MBA. And I have to make time so that I can make sure that my kids are sorted and that my husband is happy when I go and sit down and I study. If you don't plan, everything is chaotic. But it's really, really tough trying to juggle all these balls. It doesn't matter how successful you are or maybe how young you are setting out. You will always have these challenges. And often men don't have the same set of challenges that women have to deal with. And those are the kind of things that we have to change. It's something as simple as doing the dishes at home.
Yeah.
Is it always the girl's job? Is it always the mom's job? Or do we share that load? And make sure that the gender equality starts in the home. And I honestly believe if we start changing behavior in the home, we'll start seeing a change of behavior in the corporate environment. I mean, if you think about it, at the end of 2019, there wasn't one listed company with a female CEO. Now that's changed. But the current target is to try and get 10% of the board of directors for listed companies in South Africa to be women. And I think women often step away from these opportunities because their life balance at home is really, really so, it's so out of kilter and it's so difficult to get to everything that they give up on the big jobs and the big opportunities.
Well, Christelle, there's a statement that you made, and I want to quote you here. You said, if you are lucky to do well in life, it's your responsibility to send the elevator back down. Can you elaborate on that, and why do you think it is that we often see women pulling each other down instead of elevating one another?
I often hear that statement. I don't 100% agree with the fact that women put each other down. It does happen. But I think in general, most of the times, women do tend to help one another, support one another. And it's really important that if you are successful in your career and you've been given the opportunities by men, as I mentioned before, that you make time to help other women. The company that I run, Elite Risk Acceptances, has got an all-female board. I often get a lot of criticism for that because the thinking is that it's not balanced. And yes, it isn't balanced, but we wanted to make sure that we create an environment where women can thrive and prosper because we are at a disadvantage. I do a lot of mentoring, informal mentoring and formal mentoring of young women, because often women are faced with huge challenges and they don't have anyone to go to. We joke about the boys' club, but the boys' club is, it really is a structure that men tap into, their circle of connections, their network that they can go to ask for advice, guidance, help. And often women don't have that. So for those of us who've achieved some measure of success, it's your duty and responsibility to make sure that you help young women have an easier path to the top compared to some of us who have been around for a while.
And I'm sure a lot of women are listening right now, and they will make a conscious effort to actually help other young women to progress in their respective fields. Now also, talk to us about defining your brand and how having a brand and taking care of your personal image as well can help you excel in the workplace.
I decided, quite early in my career that just doing a good job wasn't going to be enough. I had to build an asset around my job performance, which is my personal brand. So to use Elite again as an example, when I approached Old Mutual Insure, who's our shareholders, to pitch this company, I didn't just bring an idea to them. I brought to them quite a big network of contacts and business associates and a profile that meant we could launch this company and get success quite quickly. And that's exactly what happened. So my brand is an asset that I can use to negotiate job opportunities, to negotiate business opportunities. I can tap into it and get connected with anyone that I need to build my business. So it's really important. And to build your brand isn't just social media. It is your work that you do in your community. It is the mentoring that you do for young women, because every time you touch someone, you build your brand, your perception, that's left behind with that person. So it's such an important thing to do. It is something that's open to anyone. You can write for your local newspaper. You can start up a LinkedIn profile page and share your wisdom and knowledge that you build up in your career. You can be active on Twitter. Sometimes it's quite a dangerous streets to be on Twitter. But, if you stick to the rules, you can build quite a substantial influence on Twitter and really just add to who you are. And you can bring that to the table when you go for a job opportunity or you pitch to a potential shareholder to start up a new business. Or just if you want to get in contact with someone to mentor you. If you already have a footprint on either online or, in the traditional media such as this, it does open doors for you and it helps you to grow your brand quite easily.
Well, just rounding off the conversation, I want you to speak to us about your personal motivation to continue speaking about gender parity and advocating for more equality in the workplace. I believe it's your daughter.
Yes, I have two. And you actually make me want to cry when you say that. And we're not allowed to cry as women, then we're weak. But, the reality is that when we go for a job opportunity, statistics show that we have a smaller chance to get that job. And if we are lucky enough to get it than our male counterparts, we're going to get paid less. And that's something that's very important for me to, through these discussions, through awareness, to change. And one day, when my daughter goes into the job market, I would like her to be able to walk into a job and get the same opportunity. So, 50% chance from a gender perspective and get paid the same salary as her male counterparts. And that is something that we should strive towards. It's been proven in countless studies internationally, locally, that when you have a gender balanced board of directors, those companies outperform companies who do not have a gender diverse board of directors. There's so many statistics that can be quoted, but just at the heart of it, I would like our girls to get the same opportunities as our boys and have a more equal world.
I look forward to that more equal world as well, Christelle. That was Christelle Colman, Managing Director at Elite Risk Acceptance.